After entering university, my health deteriorated rapidly, and within less than half a year, I became completely paralyzed and died without cure. Only after death did I realize that my sickly roommate had used a transfer system on me. Every time she transferred money to me, she also transferred some of her illness to me. Using her poor health as an excuse, she asked me to buy meals for her, seizing the opportunity to transfer money to me repeatedly. Originally diagnosed with less than 20 years to live, she miraculously recovered and was hailed by netizens as an inspirational hero battling illness, yet I died in the prime of my life. When I opened my eyes again, I had returned to the day I bought her meal once more. She was holding her phone, about to transfer money to me. I quickly declined. No need, this meal is on me. Hearing my words, Zhang Qian paused for a moment. No way. It's already enough trouble having you bring food, how can I not pay you? The other two roommates exclaimed in surprise. Monitor, you're playing favorites, how can you only treat Zhang Qian? We want a treat too. I nodded. No problem, what would you like to eat? I'll go buy it, as long as we can survive. What does a little money matter? At worst, I'll cover all their meals for 4 years. Zhang Qian, however, grew angry. Are you looking down on us? Just meals from a cafeteria, who can't afford that? You're just trying to buy us off with petty favors. Are you too brainless? Didn't you hear the condescension in her words? Just because some rich person throws you scraps, you're willing to throw away your self-respect. The two roommates blushed and shut their mouths. Zhang Qian continued, no need for you to treat me, I'll pay you back. I grew somewhat impatient. I said no, hearing the displeasure in my tone. The two roommates sided with Zhang Qian. Just now when Cici said that about you, we actually thought she went too far. Never expected you'd turn around and use this tone. What gives you the right to act so superior? So what if your family has some money? Did you earn it yourself? What's so impressive about that? I hurriedly denied it. No, I genuinely wanted to treat everyone. Before I could finish speaking, I felt a sharp twinge of pain in my thigh, as if a muscle had atrophied. At the same moment, my phone chimed with a notification. Alipay payment received, 25 yuan, right? I could refuse her money on WeChat, but Alipay transfers are instant. A cold sweat broke out on my back as I watched Zhang Qian rub her right leg, a faint smirk of triumph playing at the corners of her mouth. I quickly opened Alipay, staring at the 25 yuan, lost in thought. If she could transfer her illness to me by sending me money, then if I returned the money to her, wouldn't that cancel out the illness she gave me? I promptly transferred the 25 yuan back the same way, yet, the pain in my thigh remained unchanged. It seems her system is one way. Once harm is done, even returning the money won't help. I studied Zhang Qian in her wheelchair, recalling how I lived just before my death in my previous life, and waves of fear washed over me. When freshman year began, Zhang Qian caught everyone's attention. She sat in a wheelchair, her entire demeanor devoid of vitality. It was said doctors had long concluded she wouldn't live past 20. Everyone admired her for insisting on going to school despite having only 2 years left to live. She smiled and said she would fight against her illness. In her previous life, she truly recovered day by day, eventually even freeing herself from the wheelchair and running and jumping like a normal person. Yet, inexplicably, my legs were severed, and I grew weaker day by day. The hospital was at a loss about my condition and couldn't diagnose the cause. I died helplessly on the hospital bed. It wasn't until after death that I realized my illness had actually been transferred to me by Zhang Qian. She had a transfer system. She could buy my health by transferring money to me. Now, if I want to stay healthy and survive, I must do everything in my power to stop her from transferring money to me. I immediately blocked her on Alipay, looking at the calendar. I calculated that after buying her this meal, if she transferred money to me 3 more times, it would be the day of my death. I sat on the bed, struggling even to breathe, my body already extremely weak. At that time in my previous life, I thought it was just study stress and didn't take it seriously. My heart was filled with panic. I absolutely had to stop her from transferring money to me again. Early the next morning, Zhang Qian once again asked me to buy her breakfast. I refused. I'm not hungry today, I won't be eating breakfast. Zhang Qian's eyes darted, instantly turning red as she began to emotionally manipulate me. What's the big deal if you help me buy some food, even if you're not eating yourself? If I weren't in a wheelchair, do you think I'd swallow my pride and beg you every day? Roommate Lily stepped forward. Forget it, Zhang Qian, I'm going to get food anyway. What would you like? I'll bring it for you. Zhang Qian refused. No. I want Lin Xiaoxi to bring me food. As both class monitor and dorm leader, isn't it her duty to help classmates? Lin Xiaoxi, do you look down on me because I'm disabled? Do you think helping me won't get you anything in return? As she spoke, Zhang Qian's tears began to fall uncontrollably. Lily and Tong Tong quickly pulled me aside and whispered persuasively, Xiaoxi, just help Zhang Qian buy her meal. Our dorm isn't far from the cafeteria, don't make Zhang Qian overthink it. People with disabilities are usually more sensitive. Since we're in the same dorm now, let's be more accommodating. I shook my head and refused. I won't bring her meals anymore. As I turned to leave, Lily grabbed me. Lin Xiaoxi, how can you be like this? Don't you have any compassion? She's so pitiful. How can you be so heartless? All she wants is to have breakfast. Why are you making it difficult for her? I raised my eyebrows slightly. I'd also like to know, if all she wants is breakfast, does it really matter who buys it? Why does it have to be me? This is the unanswered question that lingers in my mind. In my previous life, there were many such situations where Zhang Qian would insist I buy things for her, even when I was busy or unavailable, even if it meant waiting several more hours, it had to be me. If her system allowed her to transfer illnesses to others through money transfers, then why couldn't just anyone help her with shopping? Why did it always have to be me? Zhang Qian was still making unreasonable demands. I just want you to buy it for me. I'm already so pitiful. What's the big deal about helping me out? I'm someone who might not even live to see 20. Who knows if I'll suddenly die one day? Maybe this is my last wish. Why do you insist on making things difficult for me and opposing me? Lily and Tong Tong rushed over sympathetically to wipe her tears. I ignored them and went straight out the door to the classroom. No sooner had I sat down than I felt hostile gazes from all around. I took out my phone and saw Zhang Qian and the others collectively accusing me in the class group chat, saying I lacked compassion. Before long, Lily and Tong Tong wheeled Zhang Qian into the classroom. Everyone curiously gathered around to ask what happened, while the three of them shot sidelong glances at me and exaggeratedly recounted the morning's events. Oh my god. How could Lin Xiaoxi be this kind of person? I even voted for her when we were electing the class monitor. She talks a big game with all those pretty words, but the moment she became monitor, she didn't even bother pretending. A selfish person like her deserves to get sick. What a shame heaven has no eyes. Look at her mental toughness, sitting there without batting an eye, acting like she didn't hear a thing. What a thick skin. I couldn't be bothered with their gossip. Others' opinions of me won't cost me a piece of flesh. Keeping myself alive is what truly matters. Until the instructor came in and announced, I've calculated the class fund amount. Each person needs to pay 108 yuan. Lin Xiaoxi, you're responsible for collecting it. I could almost feel Zhang Qian, sitting behind me, trembling with excitement. As soon as the instructor finished speaking, she couldn't wait to shout, Lin Xiaoxi, I'll transfer it to you right now. I quickly stood up and apologized to the instructor. Sorry, teacher, could someone else collect the class funds? I'm not feeling well today and afraid I might make mistakes due to dizziness. The instructor nodded. Then the vice monitor will collect. Zhang Qian abruptly interrupted the instructor. Lin Xiaoxi, as the class monitor, how can you lack any sense of dedication? What's this about not feeling well? You're just being selfish, trying to slack off and shirk responsibility. Classmates chimed in one after another. I think so too. She just wants the title of class monitor to make her resume look good, but she can't be bothered to contribute to the group. Even helping a disabled classmate buy meals is too much trouble for her. What kind of character is that? The advisor signaled for everyone to quiet down and looked at me. Lin Xiaoxi, since everyone has such strong opinions, maybe you should try to push through. WeChat chimed, signaling Zhang Qian's transfer had come through. Every hair on my body stood on end. 3 transfers now, and another one had arrived just like that. I pondered silently. As long as I don't accept it, the money won't enter my balance, so she shouldn't be able to transfer the illness to me, right? I picked up my phone and tapped return. Sure enough, my body showed no reaction. I quietly sighed in relief and looked firmly at the instructor. I'm sorry, teacher, I can't overcome it. Since everyone has objections, I won't be the class monitor anymore. Ignoring the surprised or disdainful gazes of my classmates, I walked out of the classroom. But I know, constant avoidance is useless. Zhang Qian will definitely find ways to transfer money to me. After all, just 3 more times, and she'll be like a normal person. Her anxiety will only grow more intense. I racked my brains but couldn't make sense of it. A sudden, excruciating pain shot through my thigh, forcing me to my knees. A text message arrived on my phone. An agricultural bank notification informed me of a 1 yuan transfer received from Zhang Qian. I blocked Alipay, thinking WeChat could refuse payments, but forgot she could still transfer directly to my bank card. Breaking into a cold sweat, I frantically called the bank, my hands shaking so badly I could barely hold the phone. I've lost my card. I need to report it stolen. My voice trembled on the verge of tears. 2 more transfers like that, and I'd be ruined. Fortunately, the AI customer service was quick, and my card was immediately frozen. Only after hanging up did I notice that the floor was densely covered with my sweat droplets. Struggling to prop myself up, I realized my left leg was completely useless. I kept wondering, why did she refuse when her roommates offered to buy her meals? Could it be that transferring money to me was the only way to pass on her illness? But is there anything different about me? Blood type. I have a rare blood type. Other than that, I can't think of anything else. I quickly called my sister who works at the hospital. Sis, help me check a patient named Zhang Qian. I want to know if she has the same blood type as me. If she hasn't been treated at your hospital, please help me inquire at other hospitals. She's been chronically ill for years, so there must be medical records somewhere. Soon, my sister called me back, found her. I located this person in the rare blood type donor registry. What's wrong? Is there a problem, sis? I heard that hematopoietic stem cell transplantation can change blood type. Is that true? Tell Dad to have someone search worldwide for matching hematopoietic stem cells for me. I need the transplant immediately. You tell Dad, no matter how much it costs, he must find it. This is a matter of life and death for me. My sister immediately became nervous. Are you crazy? You want a bone marrow transplant just to change your blood type? Do you realize how risky this is? There could be rejection reactions after the surgery, and it would be extremely painful, I know, but I have to do this, otherwise, I'll die. And also, tell Dad to find me a bank card right away and have someone deliver it to my school. Fortunately, my family is relatively well off. I can only pray that the money will work its magic and help me find the right hematopoietic stem cells. My dad acted swiftly, quickly mobilizing his connections, and soon found them at a hospital in Japan. He immediately transferred the payment to purchase them and arranged for a flight to bring them back to China. When I limped back to the dormitory, Zhang Qian's leg had miraculously healed enough to support her weight, allowing her to stand up from the wheelchair. She confidently told Lily and the others that her other leg would soon recover as well. As I passed by her, I pretended to accidentally drop a bank card. Zhang Qian noticed immediately and quietly picked it up. Her eyes lit up as she grabbed her phone and began transferring the money. After transferring the money, Zhang Qian's face suddenly turned pale, and she clutched her chest, coughing violently. Lily and the others gathered around her worriedly, asking, "What's wrong, Qian?" Zhang Qian looked at me in panic. My phone rang right on cue, and I pretended to be too busy to pick it up, switching to speakerphone instead. The voice on the other end was my sister's. "Hello. I'm a customer service representative from Agricultural Bank of China. I'm very sorry, but due to a system malfunction, the information of 2 bank cards under your name got mixed up with another customer named Lin Xiaoxi. We can only temporarily freeze your cards. Please visit a branch counter to unfreeze them when you have time." I feigned anger. Why should my cards be frozen because of your mistake? Why should I be the one to go unfreeze them? The customer service representative repeatedly apologized before hanging up. The confusion on Zhang Qian's face disappeared. I quietly smiled. That card was actually one I asked my dad to find for me. It belonged to someone with the same name as me, of course. The blood type was different. As expected, Zhang Qian's illness could only be transferred to someone with the same blood type, otherwise, her illness would not only fail to be transferred out but would also worsen by absorbing the life force of someone with a different blood type. As soon as the hematopoietic stem cells arrived, my sister immediately arranged for the best doctors to perform surgery on me. When I woke up, my sister told me that my blood type had changed to AB. Very well, Zhang Qian. From this moment on, I will gladly accept your transfers, just hope you can bear the consequences. When I returned to the dormitory, Zhang Qian was excitedly announcing that there would be an anti-disease hero speech the day after tomorrow, and she would be speaking on stage. Seeing me return, Lily and the others looked at me with hostility. What, are you pretending to be lame now? You really have no limits when it comes to avoiding taking care of a disabled classmate. I shook my head with feigned remorse. I'm not pretending, I'm genuinely lame. I took leave these past few days to visit a temple and consult someone. The abbot said I need to perform good deeds and accumulate virtue to recover. Cece, I was wrong. I shouldn't have been so cold-hearted toward you. Starting tomorrow, whatever you want me to do for you, just say the word. I promise I won't refuse again. A glint of excitement flashed in Zhang Xi's eyes. Then starting tomorrow, you'll keep buying meals for me. Early the next morning, I bought breakfast for Zhang Qian. When she tried to transfer the money, I stopped her. My bank card is still frozen, and WeChat's payment function is also frozen along with it. Wait until my card is unfrozen, I'll let you know, and you can transfer it all to me then. Zhang Qian nodded in agreement. On the day of the speech event, I found Zhang Qian and said, "My card is ready. Give me the money." She transferred the money to me in 3 installments, her eyes gleaming with excitement. On stage, Zhang Qian couldn't suppress her smile as she passionately shared her story of bravely battling illness and rising from her wheelchair. She declared in a loud voice, "Actually, ever since I stepped onto this stage, I've felt a surge of energy throughout my body. I believe my other leg will soon recover too." I sneered coldly from the audience, picked up my phone, and received her 3 transfers one by one. As my balance increased, Zhang Qian's body suddenly collapsed. Everyone in the audience stared in horror. What's going on? What kind of illness is this? How did it worsen so suddenly? Oh my god, is she a monster? Zhang Qian's face turned eerily pale, like a paper effigy, her legs visibly withered before their eyes, shrinking until they were no thicker than 2 sections of radish. Her face seemed to lose all moisture, shriveling into wrinkled folds as her eyes sank terrifyingly deep into her skull. Her hair was falling out in clumps onto the floor, and Zhang Qian clutched her chest in pain, spitting out a mouthful of blood. Zhang Qian tried to push herself up from the ground with her hands, only to realize she couldn't even muster the strength in her arms. I was stunned as I watched her condition. It took her transferring money to me continuously for half a year before she mostly recovered. I could only transfer money 3 times to myself with different blood types, and it ended up like this. I remembered that even when she was forced to give money to others, she insisted on using cash. If the other party couldn't give her change, she would rather forfeit the extra money than make a transfer. No wonder she was so resistant to others buying things for her. She simply didn't dare to transfer money to anyone. Everyone who came to see the inspirational anti-illness campaign was stunned. The faint-hearted were already crying in fear. The bolder ones were speculating, what's going on? Why did she suddenly deteriorate like this? All that talk about fighting illness for over a decade and finally recovering. I bet she used some shady method and is now suffering the backlash. Haven't you heard? She sought medical help everywhere, but all doctors were helpless and concluded she wouldn't live past 20. What did she just say? Overcame the illness with willpower. Is that even possible? I think so too. She probably took desperate measures to recover, and now she's in deep trouble. The crowd's gossip made Zhang Qian even more panicked. Ignoring everyone's stares, she broke down in tears and cried out, "System, what's going on? Tell me quickly." After a moment, she looked bewildered and scanned the audience until her gaze found me in the crowd. "Lin Xiaoxi, come here. Come here quickly." I dragged my crippled left leg, inching my way toward her. Zhang Qian crouched beside my legs, her eyes wild with frenzy. "What's your blood type? What exactly is your blood type?" I feigned ignorance. "What about my blood type? Do you need a transfusion? Hospitals have blood banks stocked with every type. I'm asking what your blood type is." Zhang Qian screamed with a voice weakened by exhaustion. I stared straight into her eyes. "I'm blood type AB." Zhang Qian froze, as if trying hard to recall. After a moment, she snapped back to reality, shaking her head frantically. No way, you're lying. How could you possibly be type AB? If you were type AB, I would have reacted long ago." I gently crouched down and placed the latest blood type report in front of her. "Why would I lie about something like this? But why are you so nervous about me being blood type AB? And why do you react to my blood type anyway? I've never given you a blood transfusion." The audience was equally puzzled by this scene. Did she go crazy from the shock? Doesn't seem like it, but why is she so obsessed with someone's blood type? Is she trying to use some dark magic to suck their blood? Oh come on, you think she's evolved into a vampire or something? Zhang Qian looked at my composed demeanor and suddenly understood something. She took out her phone and checked the time I received the transfer. It's you who's been playing tricks. I transferred the money to you half an hour before I went on stage, so why did you wait so long to accept it? And just as you received the payment, I'm done for. Lin Xiaoxi, what kind of trick are you playing? It's you who ruined me, isn't it? How could you possibly be blood type AB? Clearly, you're supposed to have the same rare blood type as me. My parents went through so much trouble to track you down, and I studied relentlessly for 3 years just to get into the same university as you. How could you possibly be blood type AB? If you were AB, how could I have successfully transferred so many times? If you were AB, absorbing that much would have killed me long ago. Zhang Qian began to speak recklessly in her extreme breakdown. Everyone heard it loud and clear. She said absorb. There's definitely something fishy about her sudden improvement and then sudden relapse. I stood up and looked coldly at Zhang Qian. So you've admitted it yourself. You transferred your illness to me and absorbed my health. Zhang Qian snapped out of her breakdown, realizing she had slipped up, and hurriedly denied it. What nonsense are you talking? I didn't say anything. I sneered. It wasn't just me who heard your words. Everyone here heard them. I turned to the crowd. Since today is an illness resistance sharing session, let me help Zhang Qian share her real methods of fighting disease. I know it sounds bizarre, but it's absolutely true. Zhang Qian possesses a miraculous system. Whenever she transfers money to someone else, regardless of the amount, each transfer shifts a portion of her illness to the recipient while absorbing a fraction of their healthy vitality. The only condition is that the recipient must share her blood type. If she transfers money to someone with a different blood type, not only will she fail to transfer her illness, but absorbing their incompatible vitality will cause severe damage to her body. Even though mobile payments are so convenient nowadays, Zhang Qian still insists on using cash whenever she needs to pay. Some of our classmates in the audience started recalling memories. It's true, last time I bought water for her, she insisted on giving me cash. I told her it was troublesome to carry cash and asked her to transfer the money instead, but she said her balance wasn't enough. Who doesn't even have 2 yuan in their balance, right? On the day we collected class fees, she clearly transferred the money to Lin Xiaoxi, but Lin refused to accept it, so when she gave the fees to the vice class monitor, she used cash. Seeing everyone recalling, I continued, originally, finding a few people with the same blood type to transfer money and shift the illness wasn't difficult, but Zhang Qian happened to have a rare blood type. There might not be more than a few people in the entire city, and coincidentally, I, the unlucky one sharing a dorm with her, also have the same rare blood type, so she used excuses like asking me to buy meals or things for her, transferring money to me again and again. With each transfer, her health improved bit by bit, while mine deteriorated steadily. This is the secret behind how she, who was originally paralyzed and confined to a wheelchair, was able to stand just moments ago. As for me, not only has my health worsened, look, my left leg is already useless. The audience erupted in an uproar. Someone asked me, then why did she suddenly get worse again, and more seriously than before? By the way, didn't you just say you have AB blood type? Why did you then say you have a rare blood type? What's going on exactly? I smiled bitterly. I originally did have a rare blood type. After starting university, my health kept deteriorating, but the hospital couldn't find the cause. Later, I noticed that every time Zhang Qian transferred money to me, my health would deteriorate further. While she seemed to be getting better and better, I began to suspect that she had done something harmful to me. After observing, I realized she only insisted on transferring money to me while using cash for others. I started wondering what made her target me specifically. After much thought, the only thing special about me was my blood type. In order to no longer passively accept the illness she transferred to me, I had no choice but to undergo a hematopoietic stem cell transplant. My blood type also changed through this surgery, becoming the same as the original donor of the hematopoietic stem cells. Everyone was in an uproar. Damn. Isn't that a bone marrow transplant? That's a major surgery. It's so tragic, a perfectly healthy person being forced to undergo a bone marrow transplant just to protect themselves from harm. Everyone looked at Zhang Qian with contempt and disdain. Zhang Qian frantically shook her head in denial. No, she's lying. What transferring illnesses? What system? How could you believe such absurd nonsense? I raised an eyebrow slightly. So, you're denying what I just said? I can't understand a word you just said. It's absolutely shocking. I laughed and pointed at her phone. Now we have different blood types. Would you dare transfer money to me right in front of everyone? Everyone turned to Zhang Qian, their eyes filled with anticipation. Zhang Qian shook her head frantically. Why should I transfer money to you? So you made up all this just to scam money? I shrugged and took out my phone, transferring 100 yuan to Zhang Qian. Oh, so you're just stingy. No problem, take this 100 and transfer it back to me, dare you? Zhang Qian clenched her lips tightly, and after a long pause, forced out a sentence. For your absurd remarks, I have to go through all this trouble with you. I smiled and transferred another 10,000 to her. Then consider this your hard-earned fee. Take the money, just transfer 1 yuan back to me. Is this acceptable now? Zhang Qian continued to struggle. You think you can humiliate me with money? Seeing her reaction, everyone understood immediately. Is this humiliating you? It's also giving you a chance to prove your innocence. If someone gives me 10,000 and only asks for 1 back, I'd take it instantly and return it immediately. Please, humiliate me all you want. Stop pretending. You're just scared. It seems what this classmate said is true, though absurd. I believe it. How vile. Transferring the illness to others while giving speeches about fighting the disease. How can you have the face? Amidst the crowd's curses, Zhang Qian's body continued to twitch slightly, under immense pain. She finally couldn't hold back. What right do you have to judge me? I just want to survive. Is that wrong? Since heaven gave me this system, it proves I deserve to live. You're not me. Don't preach kindness without walking in my shoes. Lin Xiaoxi is the real villain. She knew everything yet deliberately switched blood types to harm me. Lin Xiaoxi, you're truly wicked. You've lived healthily all these years. Even if you die, it's no loss. I've spent half my life in a wheelchair, so what's wrong with borrowing a bit of your health? Everyone was stunned by her shameless justification. Zhang Qian endured excruciating pain as she fumbled for her phone and dialed a number. Mom, Dad, save me. Please find someone else with rare blood for me, quickly. I've been poisoned. I absorbed qi from incompatible blood types. My whole body hurts. I can't hold on much longer. Please, hurry and find me another prey. I quietly called the police. Zhang Qian, I recorded everything just now. You can wait to die sick in prison. Your parents who helped you commit evil won't escape either. The police arrived at the scene quickly and took Zhang Qian along with her parents, who had just arrived, back to the station. People at the scene praised me for being clever, amazed that I could uncover such bizarre and eerie events. They all sighed, saying that if it had been them, they would have been killed long ago without even knowing how they died. I smiled bitterly. Hadn't I also been killed once before figuring out the trick? This isn't intelligence. It's information I've exchanged with my life, though the incident was bizarre and unbelievable, with Zhang Qian's own recorded confession and hundreds of witnesses. The police interrogated Zhang Qian and her parents overnight. Her parents admitted that Zhang Qian had been diagnosed by doctors since childhood with a prognosis that she wouldn't live past 20, and they had accepted it. But later, when Zhang Qian tried electronic payment for the first time, her body suffered severe harm. A sudden voice inside her reminded her that only by transferring money to someone with the same blood type could she transfer the illness. Chapter 9:9. Zhang Qian then realized she actually had a system. Their whole family was overjoyed, having finally found a glimmer of hope, but her father, who shared the same blood type, refused to sacrifice himself. They spent money everywhere to gather information and finally discovered that there was actually a girl in the same city, the same age as Zhang Qian, who also had the rare blood type. So, Zhang Qian began to closely monitor my every move. Upon learning that I excelled academically, she worked hard to improve her own grades. When her parents followed me and overheard that my dream school was Haida University, Zhang Qian applied there as well. After enrolling, they spent a fortune to have her transferred to the same major and class as me, even arranging for her to be in the same dormitory. Zhang Qian originally wanted to find all sorts of excuses to desperately transfer money to me, hoping to quickly restore her health. But the system reminded her that she could only transfer illness energy a maximum of 4 times a day, with each transfer requiring at least an hour's interval. If she did too much, her body wouldn't be able to absorb the newly exchanged vitality, which would instead worsen her condition. That's why she was forced to slow down. Reading this testimony sent chills down my spine. No wonder when she transferred money to my bank card back then, I actually had a chance to call and freeze the account. Turns out, the system had a time limit. If the system rules are based on the amount transferred rather than the number of transactions, if there were no absorption limits, she could freely transfer and spread the illness. Even if given a second chance at life, I fear I would still face death again. In the end, Zhang Qian's parents were sentenced to 3 years for intentional harm. Zhang Qian was granted medical parole due to her health condition. Less than a month later, Zhang Qian died in the hospital with deep resentment in her heart. After the matter was resolved, my parents took me everywhere seeking medical treatment, but no one could help. My body remained extremely weak, and my legs stayed permanently disabled. Just as I was about to lose hope, news of Zhang Qian's death arrived. In an instant, I felt strength gradually returning to my left leg. Vitality surged through my entire body, with Zhang Qian and her bizarre system vanishing from this world. My body miraculously recovered. After hearing the first story above, what are your thoughts? Feel free to share your opinions in the comments section. Next, there is another similar story. Let's continue to see. Slacking off at work, I came across a post online. The title read, Gen Z intern exposes the most humane company. Finding the description somewhat familiar, I frowned. I immediately called a meeting to ask if anyone had issues with the company benefits. The newly arrived intern Lin Chendong stood up and said, I think our company's benefits are still not comprehensive enough. Since we aim to build a people-oriented company, we should provide meals and accommodation, and even arrange daily transportation to and from work. My combined housing and transportation allowance amounts to no less than 5,000. It's more than enough to cover everyone's rent and commuting expenses, so I rejected her request and proposed that everyone could choose between company-provided housing or housing allowance, then consolidate the opinions and send them to me. Unexpectedly, the original poster updated their post again that very night. The boss lost his temper and wants to cancel the housing allowance. Suggest everyone avoid Firefly Company. Seeing these words, I finally confirmed. The person who posted this is Lin Chendong, the new intern at our company. Because Firefly is the name I chose for the company, this post sparked quite a few comments underneath. Damn, it's actually Firefly, the company my friend and I most want to jump ship to. I heard their benefits are amazing. 4-day workweek with 3 days off. Lin Chendong replied, you're so naive. 4 days on, 3 days off. Just wait till you're pulling overtime till midnight every day, then you'll wise up. No way. Firefly is famous for its perks. My company only gives $200 for transportation, but Firefly probably dishes out 2,000. Lin Chendong argued back. Then have you considered what if you live far from the office? 2,000 might seem like a lot, but it can't buy back all the time you'll waste. The person was instantly convinced by her words, finding her argument reasonable. Someone else commented about her. I heard rumors that the boss of Firefly is a rich young lady who's just dabbling in entrepreneurship for fun. Though it's unclear where this person heard such rumors, but she was right. My family is wealthy, extremely wealthy. Even if I did nothing and just lazed around, I could do so for 10 lifetimes. I was simply too bored, which is why I started this company. Actually, at the very beginning, I never thought about making it big or strong. I just wanted to create a very humane company. So I set the employee benefits exceptionally well. Work 2 days, rest 1 day. Then work 2 more days and rest another 2, calculating it. It's essentially working 4 days and resting 3. Not only that, but housing and transportation subsidies combined amount to no less than 5,000. If anyone has difficulties with rent, you can also get an advance on these 5,000 yuan. Every time I feel like having afternoon tea, every company employee gets their own portion. Holidays and employee birthdays go without saying. I'll prepare all sorts of surprises and gifts for everyone. I enjoy doing this more than working, so even if everyone didn't have to do anything, I could still support them all. However, because the company benefits were too good, the employees felt extremely guilty, so, to repay me, they worked even harder. Over the past 3 years, not only have I not suffered any losses, but I've even made a considerable amount of money. Even my family found it somewhat unexpected. This is precisely why I've persisted for 3 years. However, netizens didn't see it that way. Under the statement, they nearly ended up arguing, she's just a spoiled rich girl. How could she possibly manage a company? Must be here for the experience. No wonder this company hasn't gone bankrupt yet. Probably just surviving on family money. No wonder her company has such great benefits. Yet no employees brag about it outside. Who knows if those perks are real or just for show? The comment above nailed it. Honestly, working at a place like this is terrifying. If you offend the boss, you might never find another job again. I tugged at the corner of my mouth, feeling a wave of silence. Is it possible that people don't post things online because they don't want to create too much competition? After all, my company's employees are extremely stable. Over the past 3 years, the number of people who voluntarily resigned could be counted on one hand. I didn't comment. Just forwarded this post to the company group chat. I'm curious to see how Lin Chendong will react. After sharing this link, the group chat remained silent for over half an hour. Only then did the first reply to me finally come. It was Lin Chendong who replied to me. I was the one who posted. So what? I was just raising a reasonable discussion. She wasn't wrong to raise a reasonable discussion, but she was completely talking nonsense. I couldn't be bothered to argue with her and just edited a message to send out. Meeting at 9 o'clock tomorrow morning to resolve this matter thoroughly. I thought I had made myself clear enough during the day today. It's not that I disagree with providing accommodation, but I want them to discuss and agree on a unified answer before submitting it to me, so I can make arrangements. Who knew they still had objections? Moreover, I keenly noticed that although the other employees didn't speak up, they probably harbored objections in their hearts. Having worked together for so long, I know them all too well. They love the company's policies and enjoy being the boss's favorites. If this had happened before, no matter what I posted in the group chat, everyone would have responded enthusiastically. It seems Lin Chendong not only stirred up trouble behind the scenes but also succeeded in sowing discord. The next day, when I arrived at the meeting room, everyone was already there. The atmosphere was completely different from yesterday. As I walked to the front and had just placed my hands on the table, before I could even speak, then I heard a voice from below. Boss, have you figured out how to resolve this matter? I followed the sound and saw Lin Chendong looking at me with an air of arrogance. For a moment, I couldn't tell whether she was acting impulsively due to her youth or deliberately causing trouble at the company. I ignored her. Just glanced at her briefly before looking away. I asked the other employees, what do you all think? The air remained silent for several seconds before one of the senior staff members finally spoke up. Boss, to be honest, I also think providing housing would be more convenient. Although Xiaolin is young, her consideration makes sense. We hadn't thought of this before, but since Kobayashi brought it up, I support it. I nodded to show my understanding, recalling in my mind. I remembered asking about the reason for leaving during this employee's interview when she first came. Only then did I realize she was actually a career-driven woman whose work had been delayed by family matters. It became very difficult to find a job afterward, so I passed her interview. For these 3 years, she has been diligent and conscientious in her work, very grateful for my appearance. Counting back, this should be the first time she has voiced an opinion, then. Another employee was heard saying, "Yeah, last month the landlord wanted the house back, and I had to scramble to find a new place and move. If the company provided housing, this situation definitely wouldn't have happened." With one person breaking the ice, everyone else started speaking freely. "I agree too, that way we wouldn't have any worries and could focus on our work properly." During everyone's discussion, I faintly sensed Lin Chuandong's provocation. It wasn't until almost everyone else had spoken that two girls sitting in the corner finally stood up and said, "Boss, we have no objections and are willing to follow the company's arrangements." Both of these employees had only joined last year. "Because of my introverted personality, I've applied for many jobs. I'm not good at expressing myself outwardly, but every message you send me is filled with gratitude." As for today's situation, saying there's no sense of disappointment would be untrue. But these two people have comforted me now. It gradually calmed my heart. Before I could speak again, Lin Chuandong said impatiently, "Are you all stupid? We're fighting for our own interests here." Seriously unbelievable. I couldn't help but roll my eyes at Lin Chuandong. She was a fresh college graduate, and during her interview just a week ago, my impression of her was still centered around the word well-behaved. Little did I expect her true colors to show so quickly. I curled my lips slightly and said calmly, "Since you've all reached a consensus, we'll implement it starting next month. From now on, accommodation and transportation will be provided uniformly, and housing and transportation subsidies will be cancelled." I clearly did them a favor, yet their expressions changed upon hearing these words. I didn't pay it much mind and simply said one sentence, "If there's nothing else, let's adjourn." After waiting 2 seconds without anyone speaking up, I prepared to be the first to leave the meeting room. However, I had just reached the door, then I heard Lin Chuandong's voice again from behind. "Boss, what do you mean by this? Are you trying to threaten us by canceling the housing allowance?" I gave her a puzzled look, feeling slightly confused. "Where did you get that conclusion from?" The next second, I heard her say confidently, "If you weren't trying to threaten us, why would you cancel the housing and transportation subsidies?" For a moment, I didn't grasp the underlying meaning behind her words. Without thinking, I replied, "Wasn't it you who wanted accommodation included? Just because accommodation is included, you're canceling these benefits. Aren't you supposed to be a pampered rich girl? How can you be so stingy?" Hearing the accusation and resentment in her words, I almost laughed in frustration. If I still didn't understand her meaning now, I'd truly be a naive fool. I glanced at the others and saw identical expressions of agreement on their faces. So after all this time, it turns out they want to have their cake and eat it too. They want both the 5,000 yuan subsidy and free accommodation with transportation. In this world, such a good deal simply doesn't exist. Since they refuse to respect me, I have no reason to indulge them. In all my years, even my parents never wronged me. Now that I'm the boss, I still have to cater to my employees' moods. What kind of logic is this? I threw the contract in my hand onto the table and said coldly to them, "Do you really think I'm going to provide accommodation, transportation, and still pay you? Are you being naive, or do you think I'm stupid? You've been to so many companies. I'd like to ask, which one offers better benefits than mine? And now you're being played by an intern. How ridiculous." Seeing my anger, the others finally showed guilty expressions on their faces. "It seems I've been too kind, making them think I have no temper." Others didn't dare to speak, but Lin Chuandong, like a newborn calf unafraid of the tiger, continued to provoke me. "It's just 5,000 yuan. Is it really necessary to make such a fuss? It's not like you're short of that 5,000 anyway, or is your identity as a wealthy young lady fake?" I don't understand where her malice towards me comes from, but I don't intend to investigate. Whether it's simply youthful impulsiveness or jealousy towards me, she's not someone important to me anyway, so I don't need her approval, nor is there any necessity to explain myself to her. I gave her a deep look and finally concluded, "Since none of you genuinely sought benefits for yourselves, let's end this matter here. Everything will remain as it was, and I will no longer accept any applications." After speaking, I turned my gaze back to Lin Chuandong. He said in a warning tone, "Instead of wasting time here stirring up trouble, you'd better think about whether you can pass your internship first. If you fail the internship, no matter how good the company's benefits are, they won't have anything to do with you." I don't casually fire employees, but given her current attitude, she's already on my blacklist. Perhaps sensing the implied meaning in my words, Lin Chuandong's expression turned somewhat unpleasant. I sneered inwardly and turned my gaze to the others. "If you're dissatisfied with the company's benefits, you're free to resign and seek better opportunities elsewhere. I won't stop you, but if you insist on causing trouble in my company, don't blame me for being ruthless." With those final words, no one dared to stand in my way as I left. However, no one came to resign until the end of the workday. I didn't pay it much mind and went home after leaving the office. Little did I know, That very night, when I casually clicked into the post for a look, I found that Lin Chendong had updated it again. This time, the content read, "What a joke, acting like some rich princess, just a kept mistress throwing tantrums, no wonder she's so stingy, must be getting peanuts from her sugar daddy." I zoomed in on the photo and realized it was a picture of my dad picking me up from work today, only my back was visible. But my dad's face was clearly shown. The angle made it obvious, this was taken sneakily. As soon as I posted this photo, everyone started attacking me. This guy could be her father, right? How times have changed, even mistresses dare to start companies now. Does anyone know who the legal wife is? I know. Isn't this the CEO of Tianyang Group? I'm going straight to their official Weibo to ask. This mistress is disgusting. If I were the legal wife, I'd definitely make her pay, of course. There were still one or two smart people among them. Isn't it bad to spread rumors casually? What if he really is her father? Didn't you all say she's a rich heiress? Lin Chendong immediately refuted the netizen who had hit the nail on the head, so eager to defend her. Are you also a mistress? Besides, I'm not just making baseless accusations. I specifically searched online. The president of Tianyang Group is surnamed Lin, while our boss is surnamed Shin. I let out a cold laugh. Feeling a wave of amusement, she did do her homework. That's true. It's just a shame it wasn't thorough enough. It's correct that the president of Tianyang Group is surnamed Lin, but the chairman of Tianyang Group is surnamed Shin. My father married into our family and now he's essentially working for my mother. I twitched the corner of my mouth but didn't explain anything in the post. Instead, I forwarded this post to the lawyer on my contact list. Please help me send cease and desist letters to everyone spreading rumors and attacking me in this post, including Lin Chendong. I've always hated complications. I only prefer solving problems in the simplest and most straightforward way. Only after seeing the other party reply received did I close my eyes to rest. But what I didn't expect was that my lawyer's letter hadn't even been sent out yet. They started by giving me a show of strength. The next day, as soon as I arrived at the office, emails kept popping up with notifications. When I clicked to check, I realized they were all resignation letters. Even the reasons for leaving were written exactly the same. At first glance, it's clear they've conspired together. However, if they think this can intimidate me, I can only say they're being naive. I chuckled, then noticed someone tagging me in the group chat again. Boss, please approve my resignation request. Thank you. Boss, there's still mine. I took a screenshot of the email inbox page and sent it to the group chat. Then I asked, Lin Chendong persuaded you all to resign together, but she hasn't submitted her own resignation. After sending this message, the group chat fell silent for quite a while. Lin Chendong finally spoke up. I'm just experiencing slow internet. Almost the very next second, I received her resignation letter. I nodded with satisfaction. Since they've already formed a united front, they should all be dealt with uniformly. I paid no further attention to them, but neither did I approve the resignation request, just calling out the names, letting those two girls who didn't go along with them into the office. During that hour, no one knew what I said to them. All I know is, when they left the office, I immediately heard someone eagerly ask, Zhang Ling, what did the boss call you into the office for? Was it to persuade us? Before Zhang Ling could answer, Lin Chendong's voice chimed in. Of course it was. Do you think the company can keep running with just the two of them left? Zhang Ling didn't answer their questions and only said one thing, you'll definitely regret this. As soon as the words fell, laughter erupted from others outside. It was at this moment that I opened the door and stepped out. The moment they saw me, silence fell over the crowd outside. I glanced at them and said calmly, everyone, come to the meeting room. Seeing everyone gathered, with smug expressions on their faces, I couldn't help but curl the corner of my mouth slightly. I said calmly, the reason I didn't approve your resignation request is that I believe we should settle the wages clearly before you leave. All right. I'll approve salaries one by one as they're issued. Let's begin. As these words fell, the smiles on everyone's faces froze. Some even stood up in disbelief, pretending not to notice. I simply called out to accounting as a reminder. He asked, or do you not want to stand firm at your last post? Realizing that I wasn't joking with them, only then did the finance staff stand up and slowly walk to stop beside me. Then, with a conflicted expression, said, boss, maybe everyone just acted on impulse. Why don't you give them a little more time to reconsider? I smiled. But my tone carried no warmth. If everyone is dissatisfied with the company's benefits, why force yourselves to stay? Isn't this the outcome you all discussed and agreed upon? Or is it that seeing I won't compromise, you're having second thoughts? Was your resignation just empty talk, mocked mercilessly by me like this? Many people showed expressions of shame on their faces. We actually, seeing the accountant about to apologize, Lin Chendong beside them couldn't sit still any longer. Boss, Do you look down on us workers? We workers have tempers too. Do you really think anyone would still want to work for your company now? Hearing her say this, the others calmed down. Yeah, they've all resigned. What should I do now? With the post going viral online, netizens are all avoiding our company. Who would be willing to come? I must be intimidating them right now. At this moment, whoever backs down first loses, doesn't they? They don't realize their expressions have already betrayed their inner thoughts. The accountant gritted his teeth and said firmly, "Fine, let's settle it." And so, after 4 long hours, all the accounts were finally settled. Even Lin Chendong, the intern, had calculated everything clearly. Even at this point, I still had no intention of changing my stance. Amidst their complicated expressions, I slowly began to speak. "Since it's still early, you might as well pack up your belongings from your desks now." With that said, I turned to leave, but just as I stepped out of the meeting room, Lin Chendong called out to me. Only this time, she didn't address me as boss. Instead, she called me by my name directly. "Xin Yaoying, it's not too late to change your mind. What do I have to regret?" I looked at her with confusion and retorted, "Or are you saying you're the ones who regret it?" "We absolutely don't regret it. But think carefully, if we leave the company today, we're never coming back. If you want us to stay, you'll have to cover our housing and compensate us for emotional damages." And also, as she kept talking endlessly, I couldn't help but raise my hand to stop her. "Wait, why do I suddenly feel like you look familiar? That scene just now, I feel like I've seen it somewhere before." If we had truly met before, then her targeting me must be because of some past grudge. But what kind of grudge was it? I couldn't recall, yet I didn't miss the fleeting guilt that flashed across her face. "So we really did meet." I raised an eyebrow and decided to have someone close to my father look into it. I don't like trouble, but I'm not some pushover either. Since she made me uncomfortable, I'll definitely return the favor twofold. "Is there anything else?" I glanced at the others and saw they remained silent. Just as I was about to turn away, an old employee in the crowd spoke up. "Regardless, we're grateful for your guidance these past 3 years, but if we all leave, what will you do, boss?" His face showed concern, yet his tone was full of probing. I gave him a sarcastic glance and said calmly, "If you all leave, how can my company continue to operate?" They looked at me in surprise, seemingly not expecting me to be so direct. Then, they watched me expectantly, probably all waiting for me to take back my words. Unfortunately, I'm destined to disappoint them, so I've decided to shut down the company. Anyway, I'm not short of money. If you don't want to work, I don't want to either. All right, all of you can leave now. No matter what, I wish you all the best in finding your next good job. Though I said these words, I was absolutely certain in my heart they couldn't have met. Putting salary aside, even my father's company doesn't offer benefits as good as mine. But these aren't things I should be worrying about anymore. Before leaving the meeting room, I glanced at them one more time. They were still standing there dumbfounded, unable to snap out of it. I smiled and left the meeting room. Almost the moment the door closed, voices of dissatisfaction erupted inside the meeting room. "Lin Chendong, speak up. What should we do now? You said the boss would definitely compromise. Where else can we find such a good job now? Hurry up and beg the boss for forgiveness. Or don't blame us for being harsh with you. Now you know how to get angry and regret it. When it comes to being shrewd, no one can outsmart you. Zhanling has already shown me the chat records from their small group. Lin Chuandong's scheming was quite clumsy, but they were too greedy, confidently thinking they could manipulate me. They thought I was young and easy to talk to, unable to handle pressure. They believed I would definitely compromise for the sake of the company. Now that the desired outcome hasn't been achieved, I'm breaking down and shifting all the blame onto Lin Chendong. Lin Chendong disgusts me, but they're not entirely innocent either. In the end, it was their own choice, wasn't it? Since it was their own decision, they should bear the consequences of their actions. Thinking this way, I couldn't help but let out a sarcastic laugh. Then I heard Lin Chendong argue defensively. "Do you really believe she would shut down the company? She's just saying that deliberately to make you apologize. If you don't believe me, go ahead and try it now." If this had happened before, everyone would have already started wavering because of her words, but this time, perhaps they were genuinely afraid. They weren't swayed and instead began to regret, saying, "If it weren't for you constantly persuading us, we wouldn't have been tempted at all. It's just admitting a mistake. I'll go do it right now." "Exactly. Our company benefits are already great. I'd have to be out of my mind to believe what you're saying. Come on, let's go apologize to the boss now. I'm sure the boss will be willing to give us another chance." Lin Chendong was immediately displeased when he saw they weren't siding with him. He said discontentedly, "Xin Yaoying just wants to put you in your place. Do you really think she'll forgive you if you go apologize now?" She's definitely going to use this opportunity to reprimand you all, like canceling benefits or something. Lin Chuandong's words made everyone hesitate again. They asked puzzledly, then what should we do? As for this question, no one knew how to answer. The meeting room remained silent for quite some time before someone finally spoke up. Zhang Ling, it seems like the boss really likes you. Why don't you go and put in a good word for us? Though Zhang Ling's tone was gentle, her refusal was firm and resolute. No, after speaking, she added, from the very beginning, Wu Huanhuan and I advised you, but you accused us of meddling, so now you totally deserve this. The person was so angry they couldn't speak. After calming down for a couple of seconds, they tried to reason with her. The company is shutting down, and you'll have nowhere to go either. We should be sticking together right now. Do you even have any brains? Although the boss definitely won't shut down the business, we need to show her our attitude now, perhaps thinking they wouldn't be colleagues anymore. Wu Huanhuan also chuckled. She mocked, now you know to show attitude. What were you doing before? I think the boss still prefers your previous unruly selves. Maybe you should just keep that up. Wu Huanhuan, what do you mean by that? That person was clearly furious and embarrassed, their voice turning shrill. But Wu Huanhuan wasn't afraid and continued, you don't really think the boss is trying to put you in your place, do you? Her family is wealthy. Even if the company shuts down, it won't affect her. Since you're unwilling to work, of course she'd just close it. Could she possibly be joking with you? She's already written recommendation letters for both me and Zhang Ling. You all should keep focusing on your job search. Zhang Ling and I will be leaving first. I curled the corner of my lips and stepped out of the meeting room. After that, I had no idea what happened. I only know that Lin Chuandong updated her post again that night. I'm so mad. Sisters, our boss is really going to shut down the company, just because the investor has money. Does that mean they can treat us workers like we're not human? Before, every time she updated, many people would come out to comment, but this time, 10 minutes had passed since she posted, and no one responded to her. Lin Chuandong probably felt displeased and replied to a few people who had previously criticized me. Unexpectedly, this time, those people not only didn't echo her, they even spoke up for me. Stop spreading rumors, talking about Gen Z cleaning up the company. You're lucky if you don't ruin the company yourself. The other employees must hate you to death by now. Not only do you refuse to repent, but you keep blabbering here. Didn't your family teach you how to behave? Lin Chuandong seemed stunned. It took him several minutes to reply to this person. It's bad enough that those brainless colleagues stabbed me in the back, but now even you netizens are doing the same. How dare you still speak up for that bitch? What benefits did she give you? Lin Chuandong hurled several insults in succession, finally provoking numerous netizens to respond. If you want to die, don't drag us down with you. Because of your online rumors, we were misled. And now we're getting lawyers' letters. She's the real young lady from a wealthy family. I think the OP is just jealous and made up rumors about her being a mistress. Exactly, those with wealthy families are unlucky to encounter people like you. Now that the company is shut down, the original poster must be going crazy with regret. I don't know if Lin Chuandong is furious, but my former employees certainly are. Once they realized I wasn't actually threatening them, they completely lost it. They started sending me messages one after another, apologizing, but I ignored them all. So now they've brought their complaints to the forum post. They posted the chat logs from their small group and all the things Lin Chuandong said onto the forum. It's all because of you that we lost our jobs. You must go beg the boss for forgiveness now. I've got a mortgage to pay and children to support. You owe us our jobs back. If it weren't for you, the boss wouldn't have gotten angry. You must go see her tomorrow. Netizens are thoroughly enjoying the drama, no longer pretending to be dead at this point, and have suddenly become clever. Before Lin Chuandong could speak, they started arguing with him. To be precise, it was more like a one-sided lecture. Wow, your company benefits are actually this good, so what exactly are you complaining about? If even this isn't enough for you, then I can only say you deserve it, although the OP is disgusting. You all should reflect on yourselves too. To be honest, your boss did the right thing by shutting down. If nothing goes wrong, you'll definitely regret it for the rest of your lives. Haha, the post is now just filled with netizens watching the drama unfold. My former employees initially tried to argue with them, but they probably couldn't win against the netizens and eventually quieted down. Yet netizens seemed unsatisfied and brought the topic back to its origin. Wait. I suddenly remembered something important. We've all received lawyer letters, so why hasn't the OP gotten one yet? Probably because we're all online. While the OP exists in real life, it must be admitted that this netizen actually hit the nail on the head. If nothing unexpected happens, she should be receiving it soon too. Thinking this way, the next second, my phone rang. The caller ID showed an unfamiliar number, but I had a vague guess. Sure enough, as soon as I answered the call, I heard Lin Chuandong's voice on the other end. You've already fired all of us. What more do you want? I chuckled lightly and calmly corrected. Don't talk nonsense. It was clearly you who resigned voluntarily, and wasn't that because you forced us to? I didn't do anything wrong. What right do you have to sue me? If you haven't done anything wrong, then what are you afraid of? I curled my lips into a sarcastic smirk. Lin Chuandong was left speechless. If you realize your mistake, the most important thing you should do now is delete the post and proactively clarify by apologizing to me, not questioning why I'm suing you. Understand? The phone was silent for several seconds before I heard her say through gritted teeth, You just want me to apologize, don't you? Fine, I'll apologize to you tomorrow. With that, she hung up the phone, but given her current attitude, it doesn't seem like she's planning to apologize at all, but I didn't care. Someone like her wasn't worth wasting my time on. However, when I woke up the next morning and checked the post, I noticed she still hadn't deleted it, so I put the matter out of my mind. It wasn't until after lunch that I decided to visit my dad's company and have his accountant help me calculate the money. I heard someone say that there was a person downstairs looking for me. Puzzled, I went downstairs and saw quite a crowd had already gathered below. It was still lunch break, so no one was in a hurry, and standing in the middle of the crowd were Lin Chuandong holding up his phone, along with my former employees. I frowned as I heard my father's secretary speak behind me. She seems to be live streaming. Ying, is she looking for you? As soon as these words were spoken, before I could respond, Lin Chuandong answered, Didn't you want me to apologize? I'm apologizing to you right now in front of all the viewers. It's all my fault. You can punish me however you like, but please don't involve the innocent. If you shut down the company, how will the other employees survive? I curled my lips slightly, a chill rising in my eyes. This was no apology. She was here to pressure me. It's your own choice to quit. Why should I care if you can't make ends meet? Lin Chuandong seemed not to expect that. With so many people watching, I wouldn't show any intention to compromise. After freezing for 2 seconds, he continued, How can you be so heartless? Everyone has worked with you for so long. Why blame me? Isn't all this caused by you? They can only blame you, even if they want to blame someone. As soon as the words were spoken, Lin Chuandong felt the accusing gazes of others fall upon her. She must have gone to great lengths to persuade these people to come. Now, with what I said, they're starting to panic again. I'm really curious about what else she can do, but this time, before she could even speak, the secretary standing beside me suddenly gasped, pointing at Lin Chuandong. She said, I knew you looked familiar. Aren't you that girl who failed the interview at our company 2 months ago and then tried to seduce our CEO unsuccessfully? So, you've been bullying my young lady again. Hearing this, I raised an eyebrow in surprise. My father went on a business trip yesterday and didn't come home, so I haven't had the chance to ask him if he's seen Lin Chuandong yet. I never thought I'd find out the truth now. The secretary's words came out without giving Lin Chuandong any preparation, and they were immediately heard by the netizens in the live stream. Lin Chuandong panicked on the spot. Stop talking nonsense here. As soon as she finished speaking, other employees in the company also said they remembered the incident. So, is this why Lin Chuandong is making such a fuss? I shook my head, mentally criticizing her for being crazy. Lin Chuandong couldn't take it anymore and immediately turned around and ran away. Only my former colleagues were left, saying with guilty expressions, Sorry boss, we were all deceived by Lin Chuandong. We've realized our mistake now. Could you please forgive us this once? Sure, I nodded generously with a magnanimous expression. After all, if nothing unexpected happens, we probably won't meet again anyway. But then I saw the person's face light up with anticipation as they nervously asked, Then can we still continue working for you? I shook my head and calmly replied, Sorry, the company has already shut down. These past 3 years have exhausted me. If it weren't for the fact that the company is doing quite well, I would have closed it long ago. Compared to being a boss, I still prefer slacking off. That person's face instantly turned pale. He started again, Boss, since you recommended new jobs to Zhang Ling and the others, could you also? He hadn't even finished speaking when I interrupted. No way, Zhang Ling and Wu Huanhuan were chosen because they've always been dedicated to the company and sincere in their conduct. What do they amount to? I let out a cold laugh and turned back toward the company. As for whether they found jobs afterward or what jobs they found, it has nothing to do with me. As for Lin Chuandong, I still haven't forgotten to file a lawsuit. However, I've entrusted the entire matter to my lawyer to handle. In the end, I received a compensation payment, though it wasn't much, but it must have cost Lin Chuandong dearly. At first, I often received text messages from her insulting me. It wasn't until I threatened her, saying I'd keep sending lawyers letters if she continued, that she finally quieted down. Though this incident caused quite a stir, for me, it was just a minor episode in life. It doesn't affect my normal life. After this incident, I invited a few friends to go out and relax. Indeed, I still prefer this kind of relaxed and carefree life. After hearing the 2 stories above, what are your thoughts? Feel free to share your opinions in the comments section. Looking forward to hearing from you. If you liked this story, don't forget to like it, share it, and subscribe to my channel. See you next time.